Hey, good evening everyone. So if you can hear me, just type yes message on the chat window. I'm also typing here. Good evening all. It's a bit slow for me, but it's all fine. Just type yes in the chat window if you're able to hear me. In short, I'm audible enough. Waiting for your messages. Okay, that's great. Nice. So, without doing any further delay, good evening all, good evening everyone, and we are going to show one more thing I have figured out because I really want to take a report of how you guys are doing. So I'll be maybe connecting with you all through a voice or video call. Generally, I prefer video call, right? And I'll be doing some question and answer, a bit echo. Let me turn on. Turn off this one. Probably okay. So try my best not to just get into this echo. So I actually did not find time much to prepare that quiz, but still there is a mix of old and new quiz. You can just go through with that, and you can join. And you can join. Then we can have a quiz. So I don't know till what time this quiz have how many questions. I don't have any idea. But anyway, you can just join and we can finish this very soon. And then we can go ahead. Mushroom, wow, I love it. Anyway, so players and players. So join as fast as you can. We're changing the mode of training in a while because I think there's a couple of all set 30 people. $36 on the list. So okay, 4041. So I'm just waiting for a minute more. So it's 5:34. Well, 5:36 max. I'll be starting this quiz. So you have 1.5 minutes to join. Modi ji is here. Okay, Kushi, Modi ji, Albert. So I can just adjust my screen and check how many of you are here currently living. Okay, fine. So it's 5:34 or 5. How it is happening? We have 41 people in the YouTube channel and 52 are in the game. COVID-19. Are you guys are joining again and again? Right? I don't have to worry about. So the winners they have to worry about, because I have a procedure of doing interviews. So if they are the winners, they have to take care of their own. So this is a kind of activity for me. Okay. So it's 5:35, a minute to go, and I'll be starting it very soon. So here is a countdown, and I'm going with one, two, three, four, five, and boom. Okay. So let's have this first question on the screen. These are very simple questions, right? Way simple. You can start it. So first question is right here on the screen. Let's see, because when the question are simpler, it's not easy to manage for winners. You have a lot of wonderful, but there is still a couple of confused people are here. If you read the question carefully, I'm asking about the Docker products, right? Docker engine is not a product, by the way. The product is Docker CE and Docker EE. So you have to choose from any of them, C or E. So it's the one that is the most current. Anyway, let's check. Fine. Alia Bhatt, Osama. Nice combination, by the way. And going next. Nice. So, whatever images we are downloading from Docker Hub, it is getting stored under valid Docker images. So it's fair enough. It's very simple, right? Okay, everything got changed. I think except SD, nobody is here. All right. There are some questions that are out of syllabus. correct answers. So from copy instruction, you cannot copy data in Dockerfile by using copy from URL, right? So if you have some data outside local location, so let me tell you that fact. So if we have, this is where the Docker file and the data. So if this data were in URL, you cannot use copy instruction here. So if your data is in somewhere URL, some location, so you have to use your add instead of copy. So if you have gone through the maybe some of the assignment videos, probably you can get it anyway. So this is alright. And next, I think I have already asked that question, how to get a list of only non-running containers. Remember, non-running containers. Question. And next, okay, Har Har Mahadev is on the top. How to run a Docker file? I believe to run a Docker file, you need a build argument. You don't have to use run argument, right? I don't get it. Why maximum people have given the 23 number? 23 people have given the first option. If you want to run a Docker file, you cannot use Docker run command. Okay? So I believe you are somewhere distracted as per the. So if you have Docker engine here, right, and Docker image if you have, right, so from Docker image to container, this is only run operation. Except this, we don't have run operation. But if you have Docker file and you want to run that Docker file, so this operation is build. Yesterday we had session, right? So build is going to take over that. So I don't know, run a Docker file. You never run like this, a Docker file. Okay. And next, who's taking care of container isolation, by the way? probably we have seen this, and I think we have discussed about the same, about the container isolation. Maximum correct answers. Kernel namespace is a component. I think we have discussed about the same, right? Namespace is going to take care of isolation for the same thing. Okay, nice. So ranking is pretty much coming up and down. Read the question carefully, very carefully. Wonderful. False. We cannot run Docker in Windows 10 natively. That means without a support of Linux. Okay. Good. Next. Nice. It was really nice. Hero Cheetah 51. It's like a movie of Mithun Chakravarti. maximum correct answer to stop the container? Iron Man. Good. Whoa, still there is a one people. Okay, so just going next, right? Oh, good, very good. Okay, phantom. I think we have discussed about the same. again, random. We have this session, right? I'll tell you what are these because it was a pretty fine quiz. So we have all this. You don't have to worry about. So these are upcoming topics. Okay, inspect and all. Fine, fine. I'll repeat it So I think this question is very much relevant. Let me skip that. And if next one is this is also not relevant, skip. And final is whatever it is. No worries. So sure is alright, so let's get back to work. So it's all cool. Now, first of all, let me tell you some important and very important instructions, and this instruction about assignment or task, right? So task number 1, task number 2, and there is another upcoming task number 3. All these tasks you have to submit max by this upcoming Sunday. So you can work all day, all night, whatever you want, right? And you can take help from Google, from XYZ people, except me. I can also help in some way, not exactly in the same way. So this Sunday is the deadline for your task 1, 2, and 3. So I think task number one is already submitted by couple of people, but two I have just introduced today, right? Whosoever have not gone through the task, please go through with that and try to do that. And third, that is about to come, so you have to complete in that way. Okay, this Sunday max. So that's coming back to the topic that we have yesterday started. So we want to design our own custom Docker image, and the method we started to design our own Docker image was we started with Dockerfile, right? Now the idea behind that Dockerfile is to create an empty space or empty directory, and here in this directory you can just keep your code, or I can say your application, and along with Dockerfile. So once you have this setup, you can put this in a directory, all this, right? Or you can put this in GitHub. Both are fine, there is no problem. So once you have all this, to create a Docker image from this, the operation we call it build, right? It's build, and we have designed a Docker image from this one. Okay, now when we have designed this Docker image from the same, we have taken a very simple example, and that is right here. So this is my summer 2020 folder, and here I have this Docker file where the maintainer, run, this, everything is here, right? Now I have this code, Python code, that is having few lines of. So I think you have couple of questions. I don't know, you had a couple of questions. If you have questions till now about Dockerfile, just please help yourself to comment on the YouTube section, right? I can give answer. I have couple of things to do in Dockerfile as of now, but still, on behalf of session that we had yesterday, if you have something to ask, please do it as soon as you can do that, very fastly, not without taking any time, right? So anything, because I got some questions from a couple of people. Okay, I don't think so you are having. Okay, so let me start again. Alright, so today I'm gonna take another example, right? And that example I'll be taking more about hosting or designing a code on behalf of a web app. So let's say we have any web application that is built on top of HTML and CSS and JavaScript, jQuery, DOM, whatever it is. That means it is pure front-end application, front-end app, right? So we are definitely not going to build that application. We will be taking that application from GitHub. Okay, so once we will be taking application from GitHub, we can definitely think about the same. So what I'll do, I can just go there in Google and type, let's say, sample GitHub code on sample HTML code on GitHub. I got this first and second links, maybe first and second, both I can try. So this is a very sample HTML based code by Microsoft itself. So they have CSS, font and index.html things. And another one is by Mozilla. Why internet is so slow? I don't know. Okay, so this is by Mozilla. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm taking that one, right? So this code along with Dockerfile. So we have to integrate this front end code along with Dockerfile. Then we can talk about. Okay, so first of all, how to download that code. See, if you want to download it, we have clone option. You can just click on clone and download a zip. So I'm clicking on the clone and downloading as a zip in my Windows or Linux machine. Okay, so I'm just putting this all in my desktop summer 2020, right? Or if you have git pre-installed in your Windows Microsoft, right? If you have git pre-installed in your Windows Microsoft, so what you can do, just open your CMD or PowerShell and then try to clone that. Fine. So let me go back to desktop. I can do git clone and this one. But if you have git pre-installed in your system, then you can do that. Otherwise, just downloading that method by zip will be fine for you. You can check. All the next people, they can also install git in your laptops. If you don't have, just check it. Now this code is downloaded in my system, right? And that is right here. So this is desktop. Here I have all my codes. See, all this, right? So what I have to do now, I have to integrate Dockerfile here. So the code I have downloaded like this, or I have cloned like a zip one, so I can open that file also. So once you open that, just extract it. So I'm extracting it all in my desktop or somewhere. So it's all extracted, right? So that means it's all fine for now. So either you have code like git clone or you have something like this here. So I'm deleting this zip file from my current folder and I have this code. Now the code is there, I have to write my Docker file. So if you are using any of the operating system, right, and you can use that. Meanwhile, what I can do, I can just navigate my browser to Amazon Labs, because I don't remember that cloud access. So this will be a direct containerization of your HTML code. Right? So this is my Amazon instance, and here I'm just login. Now it's very much up to you how you want to do this practical. Either you want to do it from your own machine, it doesn't matter, by the way, as I promised that the lab will be running for 24/7. So since that day till now it is running. I have not stopped it. I don't know you are using or not, but it was running, right? So this is my Docker 1, and I'm gonna use this in my CMD, dollar env colon docker underscore host colon 2375. So my machine is now connected with Docker Hub, sorry, Docker Engine. If you have Linux or Mac, or you can perform the same in your own system. So I'm not taking that case, by the way. So what I'm doing now is like I am just beginning this code, right? And then I'll be like using it. Okay, battery I have to connect. Okay, fine. So I'm here. Now the code that I have exposed, I have to create Dockerfile here. So I'm gonna just do a new file. Okay, why the new button is not working? I hate this system, this Windows machine. Okay, let me try it again. So I'm gonna put new and file, text file, and I'm gonna give a name like Dockerfile. Fine. I know it's a .txt document, but it's all fine. So here I have to write all those instructions that I really want to write. So I'm just taking a bigger version. Okay, it's all fine, I think. Bolder one. Okay, so the first instruction will be from. Now what kind of operating system I have to use? It's very simple, right? So I'm gonna use, let's say, CentOS. So I hope you all know about CentOS. It's all fine. And then I'm using maintainer Ashutosh at linux.com. And from here onwards, I have to tell you something about hosting a page. So I think how many of you are already understanding that, right? So let me share the link first of all, if in case you're not able to figure it out. So I'm sharing a link in the chat window of GitHub, this one. Okay, this is a very sample code created by somebody, not by me. So now the question from everyone is, how many of you really understand about web servers? You know what, if you have your HTML or any kind of web application, any kind of, not only HTML, PHP, Python or something, so for that you need to have a web server. So web server is something that will host your application for you. So right, so just type yes and no in the chat window if you know about web server. I can give a list what are the popular web servers are there in the market. So the most popular is Apache HTTPD. Second is like Nginx. Third is like Microsoft IIS. Fourth is like Apache Tomcat. Any of the one, if you know, just say yes on the chat window, or if you don't know, say no. So I'm getting couple of yes messages, right? Yes, yes, yes. Maximum people, yes. Oh my god. Okay, that is wonderful. So what about others? All. So maximum people are aware about. Okay, so that means I don't have to go that much deep dive. Okay, so the first thing is, uh, if you don't want to install any of the server in your Docker, then what you can do, you can simply use your Docker hub. So I'm gonna show you the both way, right? So let's say I'm just removing this from, and I'm using Nginx, and I'm commenting it out. I am using a web server from Docker hub, right? So although I'll tell you how and what exactly web server is all about, but there is a couple of mixed answer, yes and no. So probably I'll be telling you what exactly web server is all about. But if you can write down here, so I'll be taking that session what exactly Nginx or what exactly HTTPD, IIS and Tomcats are, right? But as of now I'm taking this Nginx, so this means this is a predefined image in Docker Hub. Or maybe whosoever, if you don't know about this, probably you will be knowing about VAMP or XAMPP. So whosoever, if you're saying no, so do you know about VAMP or XAMPP? People who are saying no in the web server section, or you guys are any one of you, VAMP, XAMPP or LAMP, any one of you, I'm just asking from them who are saying no in the chat window, are you guys understanding anything like either VAMP or XAMPP or LAMP, any one of them? No, yes, yes, no. For localhost. Okay. So what about others? XAMPP, people are understanding. Okay, okay. So tell me, in VAMP and XAMPP or LAMP, what is this A? What is this A? This A is this. So we call it Apache HTTP, right? So when you are using either VAMP or XAMPP or LAMP in your Windows system, right? So it's Apache HTTPD. So that A stands for Apache. So Windows Apache MySQL PHP or cross-platform Apache MySQL PHP, right? So it's very simple. By the way, these are the web server. When I say web server, they can host your website. So let's not go deep dive that much as of now. Now what I'm doing, I'm just copying. Now the next instruction is add, right? Or I can say copy. So if I'm gonna use copy as of now. So what copy instruction I'm gonna do that is I will be copying all the data, including this, all the data in a document root. So if I want to write everything, means this, everything. So what I can do, so the simple process is to combine them into a folder. So I'm taking 1 2 3 4, 5 and 6, and I'm cutting all this. I'm cutting this and I'm creating a folder. Okay, so it's not responding, it's very bad. So I'm just then how to create folder. Let's say I'm giving a name like web app, and under web app I'll be pasting all the data. Fine. So what I've done, simply my Docker file is here, my all code that I have just copied from GitHub is here, right? So I have this Docker file and this one. So now I'm opening Docker file again. So this time either I can use copy or add. So if I'm using copy, I have to write this folder name, let's say web app, and I have to paste under usr share nginx html. Let me explain it. So what exactly this web app is, this is a name of folder that I have just created, where my this code is stored, this all code that I have just downloaded. So my view is something like this. See, this folder and this web app. And what is this? So this is my local folder, right? And what is this usr share html? So slash usr share nginx html is the document root for nginx web server. When I say document root means from where from the location, means location from where web server will read a code. Okay, so make sure you are not getting confused with the same. Okay, so let me take that from here also. So let's say if I'm gonna use this nginx web server, so if you are using Apache httpd or you are using nginx, these are web server. So this web server will read data from where www html, right? If you are using this one. But if you are using this web server, this will read data from usr share nginx and html. So any code you want to, any web app, any web code, web front end code you want to host or run with nginx, you have to put here, right? You want to put in nginx, so you have to put here, right? And anything that you want to run in Apache httpd, you have to put here. So I believe it's very much clear. Okay, so that's why in my Docker file, if this is all set, it's also understood for everyone, please do comment yes you got it, so that I can move ahead. So I'm using nginx as of now, so I'm using this usr share, this one. You don't have to install nginx because Docker Hub already have this. So just say a yes in the comment section that you are getting the meaning of a web document root. So it will copy the content of this, not the folder. Okay, so it will not copy the folder, it will copy the content of folder under this location, right? Make sure you don't forget to put forward slash here in the last. All right, so this is all comments, and one comment I'm also reading, I'm also putting here. Copy will only copy all the content of web app, not the folder. Okay, make it more clear. So this one. Okay, now every web server you are running, so they are using any of the protocol. So any web server, they are using either HTTP protocol or HTTPS protocol, HTTP or HTTPS, right? So once they are using the same, what you can do? So what I can do, so anybody can tell me what is the port number of HTTP protocol generally, or HTTPS protocol, without googling it. So do you guys maybe you are understanding port is port number. So port number of HTTP or HTTPS both, without googling it, right? You don't have to google it, just tell me the protocol. Okay, 80 for what? 84 HTTP. Okay, so 8443. Okay, great. So in the next section, what I have to do, I have to write expose keyword, right? And here I can say this will be port of Nginx web server. So we are using expose keyword to expose 80 port in the web server. Okay, fine. So the first case, what I'm using a predefined Nginx web server. I'm not installing it anything here. I'm using a predefined Nginx web server, maintainer, copy, expose, and that's it, right? I don't have to use any CMD kind of thing, because Nginx has its own CMD or entry point. So that's it. I'm gonna save that file, right? So now I have this file here. So I think it's .txt. Yes, it downstairs. So what I have to do, I have to build that code now. So how I build it? I'm going into beginner folder. Here I have this web app. So I'm here in this folder, and here I have Dockerfile and something. So how do I build it? Let's say I'm gonna build it like Docker build. First, let me check how many images we have. I think we have so many images in my server. Okay, so I can do Docker build -t. This time I'm giving Ashutosh HTML code dot, and the tag is version vv1 and -f dockerfile.txt, then dot, right? So if the file name is something.txt, then I have to supply -f, otherwise I don't have to use -of if there's no extension. So let me build it, right? So it is going to pull the nginx from Docker Hub first, and after pulling it, so once the pulling process will be complete, you know that everything is happening on top of my Docker engine server. So will copy the content, and boom, it got built. So we have ashu html code vv1, right? So this code we are going to use it, and I'm sharing history, by the way. So I've done this build, and if I'll check by Docker images, I'll be having this image on my server. So let me also tell you, by logging into my server, yes, we have Docker image here. So https :/ this IP :4200, and if I log in here, yes, we all can use same port number. There's nothing like conflict. So Devops @123. There is a spelling mistake, nginx, right? So if you're getting some error like pull is not happening or something, make sure you are not doing any typing mistakes. So if you are using typo, right, see, so it's nginx, the name, okay? So I'm gonna check here Docker images, and I'm gonna grab my name, so I'll get this. See, so it got built in my server, not in my machine, right? So when it got built in my server, so I'll be using this code, this container image, to host on top of Amazon cloud. So this code I'm gonna create container. So what I'll do, I will create a container from the same image, docker run -d -name, let's say ashu html container 1. Then what I'll do, I wanna give the file image name, right? Once I give the image name, the container got created, right? The container got created, and I can just check by docker ps. Yes, so for me this container is created 5 seconds ago. Even there are so many containers running, I don't know who has started these containers, but yes, 5 seconds ago my container is running. And if my container is running, what I can do, I want to access my page. So finally, when the image got built, I want to access my page. And how do I access my page? So see, the Docker engine is there. Here is Docker engine, and this is running on top of AWS cloud. The benefit of running on AWS cloud is we have a public IP. So when I say public IP, this public IP can be accessible from anywhere, and then my container is running here. So my container is running that application with 80 port. But unfortunately, a normal user from external world, they cannot directly access this container because of the couple of things. And that couple of things we are going to discuss in next one. Okay. So right. So now if we want to access this container application that is running in the container, so I have to do something. What I have to do, as a normal user, I can connect to this public IP with some port number, let's say 1129. So, and once I connect to this public IP on the AWS host, and I can ask redirect me or my connection to this container. So let's say if I'm gonna use some port number. So first of all, what port number I have to use with the public IP of host, right? So if you guys are getting any exactly one argument, yes. So couple of people are giving, see, so whosoever are not understanding it, you might have missed this dot thing after file name. Okay, so that means if you guys are getting error in Docker build, you might have missed that dot. So dot is very much required. Okay, so now coming back to this, so how we access our container. To access our container, we need a public IP that we have in my Amazon cloud. Then I have to put some port number, and I hope you are understanding, to access your application you need public IP, and I have to put some port number, and then when my connection will be hitting by user to this IP, the container or the Docker engine will be redirecting to the my container. So the rule of some Docker networking we will be applying here. So we have a very big session on Docker networking, but first of all, let's use that, right? Let's use that. So are you people are agree on the point that to access your application from anywhere you need a public IP? Public means that is unique in this whole world, and that public IP is on my Amazon machine, AWS machine, and that AWS machine is running Docker engine, and that Docker engine is running my container, and container has a 80 port, and my application is running here. But a normal user that is here, it is not able to connect to this container directly, and the reason behind it, every container is having private IP. So when the container having private IP, this IP is not accessible from outside. So anyhow, I have to ask these users to connect a public IP of a container of a AWS host or machine, and then when you connect on this, we can define some rule here. Whenever there's a connection coming from outside to this public IP, we can redirect it to the container. If you got this logic that we need public IP and we need to redirect this one, please say yes in the chat section so that I can at least understand that you are understanding. and by assuming the fact, I'll go ahead. Right? So waiting for your comments in the chat section. If you are getting this one, say yes. So I've got few messages, 1 2 3, not more than that. Only understanding is required, rest I'll be taking care of everything. Okay, few messages we are getting. Nice. So the next problem is if we use this IP address directly, we will be only able to access only one application, because see, if we are hitting this IP address, we are using it, so there will be one-to-one mapping. Now the problem is we are not having only one container, so we are having container 1, container 2, container 3, container 4, container 5, and so many, and all these containers having their own application running. So if I have only one IP and I have so many containers, what I can do, I can make a unique combination. What combination? Along with the IP address, I can assign some port number, and the most free port number are starting from 1024 to 60,000 or 65,000. You can also use 65,535, but I'm just assuming these are the one of the most free port number. So I can pick any of the number that is not used by my system. Let's say I'm using it 2222. So I'll make an announcement to all the user of my application, please do connect on my public IP along with the port number. Once you connect here, you will be accessing my container application, right? And the same thing, if you are another client, so I'll bound 4444 with the same IP. So once someone is accessing 4444 with this public IP, then you will be getting this application. And likewise, let's say if I'll use 1111, any port in the range, if you connect here in the public IP, you will be getting this port number. So this rule in Docker, we call it port forwarding. So we'll keep exploring number of ports because the combination is unique. The combination of IP and port is not going to repeat again and again. So if this is unique, I can simply redirect my traffic here. So once you create a container every time, so you have to manage that accordingly, right? So if you're getting the point of port forwarding, just say yes, so that I can show you that demo, right? I can show you that demo. Just comment yes, you got the point of port forwarding. You got it. Type comment yes, you got it, or you don't get it. So if you get it, okay, so I can show you this port forwarding rule in the container. And then from today onwards, you can keep hosting so many applications that is built on top of, as of now, on top of HTML and these codes. Okay, so I get a lot of messages here. Alright, so how do I configure port forwarding in my container? So let me first remove all the containers that is unnecessary running here. So let me do that. So what I'm doing, I'm killing all the containers I'm killing all the running containers because there is so many containers are there, and I'm removing all the containers. Even removing all the containers, and even there are so many images also. So what I'm doing, and removing all the images that is we guys have created. Please don't use this command in any of the system, it's very dangerous. Although I know when I'm saying no, don't use it. So what I did, I'm just cleaning everything. Now my instance will be neat and clean from this all move Maya. Okay, so everything is got deleted. I'm expecting these commands are very dangerous. You don't have to use that. So I'm using docker ps-a, nothing found except few containers, just created few second back, and we have only a few images. So what I have to do, I'm just building my image again like this. Okay, so my image got built. You can watch video later on. So this is my image that got built. So how do I do port forwarding here? So what I'll do, I'll make that docker run -d -name okay container 1. Then I use here -p. Let me use the left port number for me. It's 4444, and my container port is 80. So this 80 port is whatever we have written in the Dockerfile. So this will be whatever we have written in the Dockerfile. So right hand side port will be always from expose keyword, you can assume like that, and the left will be that is going to bind with my public IP here. Okay, and you don't have to use this. You can use this port number for your own, but the left port number must be unique. So if I am okay, boom. So docker ps. Now see what I get is my image name is this, my container is having port forwarding option. So 4444 is redirected to the 80 port of what? Of container this, right? And if I'll check again, I have to increase maybe the font size a bit. Okay, this ps 4444. So what I can use, I can go to my browser and in my browser I can use this IP address only, and along with 4444 port number. And if okay, so I think I have a firewall blockage, so let me allow everything for you. So I'm editing all the rules and I'm giving it like all traffic is allowed from anywhere. It's just a firewall rule I have saved it actually. You don't have to do in your laptop. So it's running now. If I oh wow, see, so this is the code that we have copied and that is running in the container, and that is a HTML page. So this web app is running on the container. And which container? This container, this one, Ashutosh something, right? Even I can go here, okay, and I can also type docker ps and I can see, right, 4444. and this is another, right? So simply and see, if you are not using Amazon Cloud, let me tell you, if you're not using Amazon Cloud, how you can do that. So you can go to your system and you can open your Docker desktop PowerShell. You don't have to set any of the command, right? You're just going here under cd desktop and beginner, and here you have, and this is your Docker desktop where you have these so many few images. See, this is my local system, and if I use that docker build -t image name web and -f Dockerfile dot, so it is also building in my local machine. Either you are using Linux or Windows Docker desktop or anything, so that is going to pull the image locally. So that means if you don't have Amazon web server or any cloud based, so you can build it locally. See what just happened, it got built the web, right? Now how do I create container here? So I can use the same strategy here also. Okay, I'll use docker run -d -p 1122 and 80, and this container got created in my local machine, and in my system I can use 127.0.0.1 colon 1122. See, if you don't have cloud, you can check in your local Windows machine as well. So it's not a problem at all to check this all in your local system. So I hope if you have Docker locally, you can use 127.0.0.1. It's all running fine. I'm trying my best to show you that in both cases. Okay, so are you understanding both the difference? If you have Amazon Cloud, you can use public IP. If you have local Windows or Linux, you can use this IP with the port number. You don't need anything to, but that the problem is this application is not accessible from worldwide, but this application is accessible from anywhere, because the reason behind it is public IP. But there is no difference in Docker, right? So that's the only difference. I'm sharing this even, let's say, URL on the chat. Are you guys are understanding the point that there is no such difference to running the container either publicly or in a local system? Let me write it down for you. Maybe sometimes you are missing a voice note. So running Docker engine in your local laptop or PC or somewhere, so you can use 127.0.0.1, or running Docker engine on top of any cloud. It's all fine, there is no difference. So when a software is not showing any behavior, any difference on top of here, so that kind of thing we can say this is platform independent. Like you say for Java is platform independent, so likewise Docker is also platform independent. So you can use Docker in the cloud environment, in the local laptop or PC. So design, let's say you build an image here and you can just download image and use here. It's all fine. So there is no such difference wherever you are using Docker, right? So designing and platform is all fine. So what I'm doing, I'm sharing few HTML codes so that you can just some list of HTML sample codes from online. Either you can type it sample GitHub HTML code. So number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, number 5. So let's say 1 you can use, 2 you can use, 3 you can use, 4 you can use, and 5 you can use. For your own convenience, if you're really using this all, so I'm sharing all this on the YouTube link. I want you to practice with all these. One link, that was CFG something, okay, CFG, okay, and then this link also. So use the same Nginx image. I'm not saying you don't have to do any innovation as of now. Don't have to do any innovation, just host these images in Nginx. Once you good with the Nginx, I'll be sharing how to use your own custom web server. So we don't have to use Nginx in future, but at least you will be, yes, yes. So there is a question that I get it. So someone is saying, can we provide data directly from GitHub? So that case, I will let you know how, because I have to take it that session for that. So at least do practice with all this, right? Only these 5 links that I have shared, you have to write your Docker file in such a way, right? In such a way, only you have to practice it. So test all those ways. If they're all working, and do the assignment also, whatever I have given, then the next thing will be we will configure and install own web server. We will not be using Nginx or something, okay? Alright, so that will be something like this. So, and see, so I have given you 2 examples, Python based code and HTML based code. So you can practice for both. And tomorrow I'll be using Java based code, and then we'll be integrating new web server with HTTPD. So I can tell you from today, HTTPD will be using our own, Java based code will be using Python based, HTML based, then finally then database, and so on, right? So as a random practice purpose, please don't do any further delay, because you all have these links on GitHub, on the YouTube link, where you can take that and you can build your own images, right? When you build it, you feel very good. Although I'm creating a couple of videos for containers, right? Very much in a very much different fashion, although you also have the assignment. Alright, so I'm expecting that all of you have gone through with those assignments that I have, and that was just a time pause for me, but it's all fine. So you have gone through this assignment, and I can see 176 people have watched, but how many of you, okay, Just good one. Okay, all right. Fine. So, any questions if you have as of now, just you can ask, or you can message me personally also. Then, if you have any question, it's all fine. You can ask here. Anything that I can answer here, or the better way is to ask in the WhatsApp group or personally, because it is not going to answer your query in a way the one I want. Okay, so no worries. Thank you so much, guys, and good night for all. Enjoy the lockdown till 3rd May and have fun. Okay, so I'm just ending this session. All right. All set. So waiting for your messages if you have any question, otherwise it's all good. Wonderful.